What's going on, everyone? This is a Mac and Fish podcast. Today, we have Corey Long filling in for Coach Mac. How are you doing, Corey?
I'm good. Excited to be here. Excited for our guest today.
Let's get started. Today, we have a surprise guest. We have Coach Nick Rolovich, head coach of Washington State. Coach Rolovich's playing career started at Hawaii, where he had a season in which he threw for over 3,300 yards and 34 touchdowns. He also had a game against BYU, which he threw for over 500 yards, had 8 touchdowns, which was a school record. Head coach Rolovich started his career at San Mark JUCO, and he went on to become the head coach at Hawaii. And then finally, now he's the head coach, got offered the job this past season at Washington State. Coach Rolovich, how you doing?
Fish doing great. Now that's City College of San Francisco, JC. Now we got a lot of Florida boys coming over there, so that's a good program. I enjoyed my time there. But thank you guys for having me on.
Appreciate it. We actually had Coach John Beam from Laney College on earlier, and also Jeff Sims, who was at Kansas JUCO. So we put a lot of time into the JUCOs as well. So I appreciate you coming on and ready to go, man.
That sounds good.
Hey, well, Coach, I mean, you started actually when in your college playing career. I remember you played at City College, right? You ended up going back there as an offensive assistant for a year, and your first head coaching job was at Hawaii. You went back to your alma mater in JUCO, and then again back to your alma mater at Hawaii. And how exciting was that to go back to a familiar place, a place where you played at, and help rebuild that program?
Well, it was a great experience. I owed a lot to Hawaii for where I'm sitting right now, not only as a player, but as a coach, but as a person. Concept called aloha, which I think everyone really lives by, but that's kind of the term in Hawaii is really just treating people with respect, doing the right thing. And I saw a whole state community really thrive off that concept. So that really stuck with me. And then, one of the things I played junior college ball, and you guys know some guys who played junior college ball. It's hard. And, you got other guys getting offers. You got to go to JUCO. And when you have success, and then I got to Hawaii, I thought I thought I deserved to be the quarterback from the movie The Program. I thought I should be, doing all this stuff. And that making bad decisions. And it wasn't necessarily affecting me as much as I was able to bring my teammates down and get them making bad decisions, which ended up not making a great football team. So I tell everyone this story because a lot of people don't get second chances. And Hawaii, I changed my tune. I started doing the things that got me there, and I was able to get a second chance, and that's why I'm sitting here today. So, how many guys you see don't get a second chance because of decisions they made? I am one of those, but I try to tell that to our players and our recruits because I don't want to see them lose this opportunity because they want to do something that maybe some of the other college kids are doing. We're different football players, and there's a sacrifice there, and not everyone can do it, and that's why I tell them they're special, and take advantage of every opportunity. So.
You took over a Hawaii program that went to the Sugar Bowl under Coach June Jones, then had a couple down seasons before you got there. How tough was it to turn around Hawaii when you got there?
I don't know if it was – it was a hard deal, but really getting the kids to believe in each other and do it for each other and commit to doing something great. The mindset shift was the main focus right there. That Sugar Bowl team had some real contributors from Florida too in the skill position. I think maybe most of the secondary. I know a lot of JC guys, but there was some Texas JCs. There was some Florida kids making some real plays. So Hawaii had a bunch of good Florida players too.
Coach, you spent 4 years in Hawaii. Went to the Hawaii Bowl 3 times. Ended up winning 18 games over your last 2 seasons, had your first 10-win season last year. And when that happens, of course, you become a prospect. Your name gets in that grab bag of coaches that might be looking to Power 5 programs are looking at. What made you decide that Washington State was the next step for you and the right step?
I think probably what made me a candidate is the personnel that was on the roster offensively fits with our 10 personnel scheme. So I think that was initially one of the attractions. The thing that a wise coach told me is don't start reaching and pulling yourself up. They will pull you up when you are ready and you are deserving. And so, they told me that when I got the Hawaii job, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to do the best job I can with the deal I got right now, and really kind of pay Hawaii back as well as I can. I wasn't unhappy there. It was a nice place to live. But when I just thought there was a lot of qualities about Washington State. I kind of like a good, it's a real safe town. There's a real community to it. There's a, kind of a blue collar element that I like, working hard and getting stuff done. And it definitely a different geographical area, but people have been great fan base, and Cougar football is everything. So,
Washington State's had great success with coaches before you: Mike Leach, Dennis Erickson, Mike Price. What's it like to follow some of these guys?
They've all been very available for guidance, how they won here, what was important here. I think they won with in-state kids who had a chip on their shoulder. I know we can't overlook that. But they all said that, and not Leach didn't say this, but most of the coaches who retired and aren't coaching anymore said this was their favorite place to coach. And I think it's because of the community and how passionate everybody is about Washington State football, because it is a small college town, and we're the only show on this side of the state, and it's a big deal. So, and it's again, I said it a bunch of times, but I like, it's one of the safest college towns around. I got 4 young kids, they're out on their bikes, and I think that's a good thing for young kids. So,
Coach, getting a little bit into the recruiting process, when you flip on a tape and you're looking at a prospect, be it a high school prospect or whatever, what gets you excited? What are you looking for that tape that really gets you excited about a player or a prospect that you want to be able to recruit and are hoping to bring into the program?
Well, different positions give you different aspects, right? But there's definitely offensively, speed is our thing. We don't care if you're 5'7". We don't care. That doesn't bother us at all at receiver. We want speed and guys who are unselfish at receiver. It's a 4 receiver set every snap of the season. And you're not just a line on a playbook. You are a part of a concept, and you have to be as I guess we look for those unselfish qualities, and, sometimes you can see that on film, sometimes you can't, but you have to take pride in getting somebody open and scoring a touchdown as much as you're excited about scoring a touchdown yourself. As a receiver in this offense, I think we meet receiver and quarterbacks in the same room. Receivers become like backup quarterbacks. They know when they're going to be open. They know when they're not going to be open, and smart, unselfish, aggressive. We talk about aggressive common sense. Let's be smart. We're not going to just run into coverage, things like that. Offensive line is probably more of an athletic offensive lineman than necessarily size. A lot of the same recruiting qualities that we were in Hawaii. I know, like I said, they're way different places, but, I don't want to trick anybody to come here. I want someone to want to be here. I'm not trying to, because if they get here and it's completely different than what we told them it was going to be, we just try to be straight up transparent through the process. And, there's a lot of kids that play football, and there's a lot of good football players out there. And we just want people that want to be here and be part of something special. We're really big in togetherness and doing this, for each other.
As far as recruiting, are you guys going to be specific with junior colleges, transfers, high school players? Are you guys going to recruit nationally, a little bit of all, or what are you guys going to recruit to Washington State?
Well, I'm a junior college guy myself, so I like the junior college hunger. I do. I like that they appreciate, the snack bar. They're not just, I don't like that fruit snacks, I like this flavor. No, they're grateful for everything. And what I really would like to do, I think you look to, Snyder at K-State, he did a lot with junior college, but I think you have to look 2 years ahead and plan, and not plan, but hopefully think about redshirting those junior college players, because many times, schools are like, oh, we're losing our left tackle, we got to go find a junior college guy. Sometimes they ain't ready, and by the time they're ready, it's the end of their senior year, and you wish you had them for another year. And with the redshirt, junior college guys end up graduating. And so I think that's a one thing that I really want to. Now, if they got to play, they got to play, but I want to keep that in consideration. We're fairly national, probably not as much in the Northeast as we are in Georgia, Florida, Texas. We've had some success in Louisiana. I think we got 7 or 8 guys from Florida on our team right now. And then California in the West. I think there's enough over here that we can get to, but we, with the Zoom calls and recruiting that way, it's really given us an ability to get more national and show kids virtual visits and show them what it's all about. And just let them know, what's the route to get there. It's not the easiest place to get to, but when you get here, it's a good place.
Coach, you're a former quarterback. You run a quarterback-friendly offense. There's a great lineage of quarterbacks that you had at Hawaii, very high, wide-open offense. At Washington State, you look Drew Bledsoe, Ryan Leaf, now Gardner Minshew, quarterbacks that have made it into the league running, really for the most part running very high-paced, passing, high-impact passing offenses. Does it make it easier for you to recruit a quarterback when you could point to your experiences and point to that lineage?
Yes, I think it does. History in the system. You go back to Warren Moon, Jim Kelly, you're talking about Jeff George. You hear all these quarterback names from the past who ran this offense with Miles Davis and June Jones, and Colt Brennan's probably the most famous one at Hawaii, but you're talking about Timmy Chang, Brian Moniz, and you mentioned a lot of the Washington State greats over here. Jack Thompson's another one. So that combination definitely helps. But I think we look for very specific qualities in a quarterback. Arm strength is down the line. We want accuracy. We want quick release. You're seeing quarterbacks, you're seeing the NFL, I don't want to say cave to college football schemes, but you're seeing a lot more high school, college, high school influence college, with Gus and when he came out and all that stuff. And then, now you're seeing a lot of college schemes going ahead and showing up in the NFL. So I think it's a good time to be a quarterback in our offense. Obviously the intangibles are important, but it is quick release and accuracy are where we kind of start our quarterback evaluations.
With the pandemic, are the Pac-12 schools allowed to practice? Can you meet with your team in person, or is it just Zoom? What are you guys doing right now?
Everybody's kind of at the mercy of their local health officials, because everyone's got different numbers and restrictions and all that. Some have been going harder than others. I know a lot of the California schools are probably the furthest behind because of their restrictions, but a lot of Zooms this summer. That was a big part. We're not having team meetings in person. There's just not enough space to do stuff like that. And where you start to worry is, when you get to special teams, I don't need to talk to them forever as a team, but special teams, you need a big group in a room learning that stuff. So we're looking at different options for that.
Oh, yeah, I know. I saw that you had rode your bike around campus and Zoom with the prospect to kind of show them what the campus was like. How long is that bike ride? About 5-6 miles? That was a pretty good ride for you.
Well, it's kind of a hilly city, so I threw it in the back of a truck to the top of the hill and kind of rode down and had somebody pick me up. But, the kid wanted to see it, see the town, and so I just stuck him on FaceTime, taped it to my hat, and rolled him around town, gave him a look at it.
Now, we saw yesterday, actually, the Big Ten, they were kind of reverse course. They're going to go the week before Halloween. I've heard different things about the Pac-12, possibly, maybe mid-November. I know there's even more than a pandemic. There's some environmental issues with the wildfires out there right now. Do you feel like there's a chance that the Pac-12 can get this thing going this year, get it done before January?
I'm pretty confident we're going to try. Um, everyone's dealing with it their own way. You're seeing some games get canceled. I just want to make sure we give our kids a chance because, you know, I don't think you can just throw them out there in a football game. I think there's some buildup going on, and I want to make sure that we give our guys a chance to get ready to play. But yeah, I do think we're gonna. I think we're gonna go.
The season does get underway. What type of team do you have this year? And did the running back Mac Borghi come back this year, or is he back?
Yeah, Max is back, and Max is a real dynamic player. A lot of people compare him to Christian McCaffrey. He's got he must have had 70 catches out of the backfield last year. He'll get more touches. We don't release the back as much as Coach Leach and their system does, but he'll get more touches out of the backfield, I would think. Got a real veteran O-line, which really gives you a chance, especially in a situation like this where, if you don't know what you got up front, you could be in trouble. But that's a positive for us. Real competition at quarterback. But as far as overall qualities of the team, they're a hardworking team. We saw that early in January when we got here. They're not afraid to work. And I think they have a care for each other. There's not a lot of nonsense, which, again, in a time like this, we don't have much time to waste. So guys are fairly focused right now, which I appreciate. There's a maturity too.
Without having a chance to get a spring football in as a coach in the first year in a program, what were the difficulties and what were you able to do to maximize the time that you're able to have with these players during this long stretch where you're not able to do as much as you'd like?
Yeah, there was some definite difficulties with that because we're a very rep-based system where we don't have a ton of plays, but we like to get a lot of looks at it and feel real confident about, when we get out there. So tons of film work, tons of Zoom, tons of, masked up footwork stuff with the quarterbacks and running backs with meshes. And, we didn't push too far as install on Zoom. I kind of wanted, learn, I don't want to go to install 5 and then not even having run a play with install 1. So, if whatever time they give us, we just got to make a choice on how much we put in. What is the gradual, it's going to be a continuous learning curve as far as the system, I think, as we move on into the season. What I don't want, I think we saw this in the first couple of weeks of college football, was you get the sense that maybe special teams got pushed to the side a little bit because people were, trying to get it in. So I want to be very conscious of that. I also want to be very conscious of those special situations, those game-winning situations, whether it's even just taking a knee at victory or a bullet field goal or, ways to end a game, because there's so many of them and you have to practice them. You have to talk about them. Timeout usage, game management, those types of things, you can't just put it to the side and install, especially as I think a head coach. You got to trust your guys that they're coaching them up and really make sure you touch on those game-winning situations.
Dealing with the situation we've had with this COVID, and I know, personally dealing with my own son going to school and how difficult it's been on him. How is your team holding up during this time? Are they doing okay, or is it a different situation with each individual player? But overall, how are they handling it?
Well, I think we're very conscious of the mental health situation. We've had kids, grandparents get it, their parents got it. So, I try to live by what I talk about, where, faith, family, academics, football, and go in that order. So I think, we help guys get home to see their families when things happen. But we did spend a lot of time, not necessarily time, but checkups on these guys. Hey, let's be real. Are you struggling with this? What do you need help with? Let's talk about this. I think we've earned some of their trust. But it's been, online learning, and people know it's not the same. And, it puts a lot of families in some real difficult situations. There's a lot of, moms and dads that are trying to work and also trying to make sure their kids do well in school and learn something. So I feel for them, and I appreciate their effort because, not everyone, a lot of people are just trying to make it and do better for their kids. And this doesn't necessarily add up to a real nice path for their young people. So it's been hard. It's been hard adjustments, but that's what football players do. That's why I tell them they're special. They handle it, but they still need us to care about them as people. And kind of the reason why I like this level, I don't have much desire to coach in the NFL. I like being able to, still help kind of finish that mold of that young man before they become a husband, a father, and a productive member of their community.
Well, Coach, man, Corey, anything else you got?
Oh, no, I'm thankful for your time, Coach. I really appreciate it. And I just wish you a lot of success and safety right now, obviously.
I appreciate that. And you guys do the same.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, and hopefully in the future we could have you back on once the season's over with and you have a successful season. But one of the things we do with all our guests is not only thank them, but if you could tell us like what your social media accounts, whether it's Twitter or Facebook, what so players can kind of follow you or prospects can follow you guys.
I know Twitter's kind of the big one right now for me. I can't handle Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat and all that. So mine's at Nick Rolovich. Twitter's probably the best. I don't get on the other ones too much. So
we're the same. I'm still trying to learn that stuff, but
yeah.
Once again, I appreciate everything, Coach, and good luck this year, and hopefully you guys get a season in.
Nice, good fun. I appreciate you guys. You guys stay safe down there also.
Thank you very much.